Now, before we get started, I do want to give a special shout out to every single one of my members, right? Even the ones that don't say nothing, right? I be seeing you guys online sometimes, even though you guys don't say nothing. I still be watching. Um, but all jokes aside, I really do want to thank you guys. You guys have supported me for such a long time, and I think it's really cool that I'm your go-to guy, right? At every job I've ever had, I've always been the go-to guy. So I actually take pride in taking care of people, and I think that's kind of what makes my room so much different than everybody else's room, right? I genuinely care about the people that I always interact with. So thank you guys for entrusting me with your guys' finances, at least on the crypto sides. I really do appreciate you guys. To everybody in my group right now, my current members, just know this does not affect you one bit, okay? So the special announcement is I am going to be raising my prices starting January 1st. And that's because we're going into that final Bitcoin cycle. And my members know what that's about. I'm not going to give away, the secret sauce in a sense. But I am going to be raising my prices. And, the 30, my entry tier was $30. That's going to go up to 60. My 61 was going to go up to 90. And those are the only two we're going to have from now, moving forward. Like I said, all of my members are not going to be affected. This is more of a thank you to you guys for supporting me this whole time. So I'm not going to raise the prices on you guys. You guys are going to be locked in. And again, the new prices will be set in on January 1st. So if anybody else joins before that, they would also be locked in into that. And the biggest reason why I'm going to be, raising the prices is I've been undervalued for such a long time, for especially how accurate I've been, and I know my worth. And it's the last time everybody raised their prices, I didn't want to raise my price. I ended up switching platforms, so I saved money on the platform side. It was more like an inconvenience because everybody had to switch from Patreon to Ko-Fi, but it was a way to where hey, I didn't have to raise my prices or nothing like that. Because I did want to make this into a business where I can sustain myself and not have to go get a job, and I can watch the market throughout the day and continue this having good accuracy. For those that have never been in my room, or just a fresh reminder, so we're looking at the Bitcoin chart right now, right? These red zones are where I called the tops before the market dumped, and one of them was at the top of the last bull run. I was in other people's groups, and my Discord wasn't well established yet. I was barely starting to create it. But I was going around everywhere telling everybody, hey, we're at the top of a bull run. Everybody was like, oh, get ready. Here comes the bull run. I was like, no, we've been in a bull run the last year. What are you guys talking about? All of our coins are up 30x, 40x, 50x. This is it. And then I called the tops on all the other ones right before they dumped down. All of these right before these big old dumps. This whole time during 2022, I was telling all of my members, do not buy nothing. And people were always like, can I buy now? Can I buy now? It's no, do not. For a whole year, I told everybody, do not buy nothing. And that was hard, right? Because you wanted to buy because everything was so cheap. But then again, if you bought, you were getting dumped on. And it sucks though, because people were in other Discords. And, they were being told to buy all these crazy memes and stuff like that. And it's dude, it's crazy. But in these green zones here are where we bought back in. So over here around it was towards a little bit in October, November-ish, where I said, hey, look, we're gonna start buying back in now. Now we can drop one more time, but it's okay because we don't aim for the bottom, right? We aim for a very good price. Same thing, we're not gonna aim for the very top of the bull run. We're gonna aim at really good prices to get out with where we killed it, because it's gonna dump all the way back down anyways, right? What's the whole point of getting into a meme coin that made you $1 million, but then you wrote it all the way back down? All that's going to give you is stress. Literally, that's all it's going to give you. But we got in every single dump. We never bought the tops, never bought the peaks, always in the dump. Now here we didn't get in because a lot of the coins were higher. We're starting to get a little too high, right? And we nailed we nailed this drop here too. We nailed a lot of, calls, and this is just Bitcoin. I'm not even talking about when we nailed Shiba, and it's during the bull run, October 4th, I believe it was, where it pumped crazy. We nailed the very top of that. So we killed it. We got it at the top of that. Recently we knocked out AIOZ, right? We were buying that in the 5 cents area, right? We bought a little bit higher too because we were DCing on the way down. That went up and did 70x. Now this Discord isn't about like crazy pump and dumps and get to rich schemes, nothing like that. Like we have a trade room, we have a meme room and stuff like that, but this is more of a slow and steady, and we're gonna win type of Discord, right? This is not like a hey, I'm in some psychic room where she's giving out random calls and let's see if I get lucky, right? So with this, I recently gave the call to hey, you know what? Let's buy back in, right? And all around this time here, we were also waiting. So we also waited like a year before we can buy again. We bought near the bottom, and now we're starting to buy again. If we look at all the alts, look, a year ago everything was high, and that's why we didn't buy. During that time. That's why like right here on Bitcoin, you see like a gap where it's like we bought down here, we didn't buy it here, and like we're just now starting to buy. And like speaking of psychics, like and it sucks though because she's like a friend, but at the same time like it kind of sucks because this friend's kind of like misleading a lot of people, right? They're in her group, with a lot of faith, and it's like honestly, it's almost like she's just giving random calls, right? She just And here's the thing: when you give out so many calls, eventually you're gonna be right, right? When you look at like Crypto University on YouTube, like Crypto Steve guy, whatever, he makes a different call every single video with a different indicator, and then once one of them hits, he'll turn around and come back and be like, "Look, see, I nailed it." Like that's how like some of these psychic rooms are at, right? This person I'm talking about, like I'm not gonna say her name, but like she called a top a couple weeks ago, says like, "Hey, this is a top, like it's gonna dump all the way back down." Cause like some members of mine like sent me screenshots and like, hey, like she telling them it's a top. When I'm like over here like, hey, it's about to get like very interesting soon. And here I am 2 weeks later, or 2 weeks ago, telling people, hey, start to buy, and she's telling them like, hey, we're at the top, and look where we're at. Bitcoin's breaking out, and everything's starting to go up. So it kind of sucks though because again, it's a friend, but at the same time, it's like, is it okay for you to be a friend with somebody and then like they're always misleading people? They're just making calls. They don't care if people get screwed over or not, right? Like I genuinely care about everybody in my Discord, right? This is why like I know my value, right? If I'm going to be taking care of everybody, you know what? I'm probably going to charge a little more because it takes a lot of effort, a lot of energy to make sure, right? We do one-on-ones. We make sure everybody's portfolio is back in place. Like you'll be surprised how many people I talk to where like their whole portfolio were meme coins. And this was like Kishu, with the Yushiba, all those like Mononoke, all these random coins. Look at them now, all trash. Satama, all trash. Satama's another one where I nailed that very top. I nailed that 50% drop where it went back up again, and then it dumped all the way back down. Like, this is why I said, like, you know what? I've been undervalued for such a long time, and it's like, you know what? I appreciate my members, so none of the prices are going to go up on them. But all new members, it's like, hey, you're going to be paying for the accuracy that I'm actually providing. As in before, like, hey, I just want it to be like an easy community where everybody can easily, come on board and stuff like that. Now, there are members that were with me for a while and ended up, times are rough. So there's certain people that I will like allow to like when they come back, because when they leave, they can leave a note and be like, hey, look, I just lost my job, or hey, I got another kid, and I can't be in the Discord right now because, funds are tight. So, if you've been with me for a long time and you had to leave, then it's like, cool, I understand. I'll still honor it. But, like, if you were with me for, like, 2-3 months and then you left and now you want to come back in, like, towards the top where I'm like, hey, I'm about to call the top. And it's like, well, you got to pay the new price, right? But, people who've been with me for a long time, I'll always make sure they're taken care of. I don't want to ramble on too much. But, again, hope this doesn't scare anybody because, again, I'm not raising the prices on any of my current members. You guys are always going to be locked in at these prices. Whether you go up or down on the tiers of the older tiers, you're going to be all locked in. This is going to be more for new members. And like I said, technically, January 1st is when that changes over. So technically, some people can still come back in and benefit from the lower prices instead of paying the more expensive side. But if you have any questions, concerns, or anything, feel free to reach out to me. I'll gladly be able to, we could sit down and have a talk.